I started the stream, Lewis. How are your intestines feeling today? Are you okay?
That's great news.
Yeah. Intestines feeling okay? Oh, jeez, dude. God.
What was that?
Yeah. You know. I think we're live. You want the tweet, Lewis?
God, please. Please, can I please have the tweet?
This is the highlight of your week, isn't it? Is there anything you
Can
like
never
more
wait
than
for the tweet.
you like getting your hands on the tweet? I have to admit. Let me just prove it real fast. CultCast is live, talking this week's best Apple stories plus our 2021 Gear of the Year. Bow. There you go, Lewis. Take that. All right, I think we're live. Lander, cover your ears. Here it comes. Ready? Bow. We're live. Was that loud? Because I tried to shout it that way so that it didn't hurt your ears.
No, it was muted.
Oh, okay, good. Okay, Eric Peter Carlson, the man with 3 names. He's here. Hello, beautiful people. Let's wait for some people to shuffle in. Look, I'll be honest. I don't know if anyone's going to shuffle in for this show.
I wouldn't wait. Let's just get going.
It's for that freaking title. That title, it just wasn't alluring. I don't think it's going to draw anyone in, Lewis. Jeff Druin is here. He's saying stuff. Let's just give him 60 seconds, Lewis. I mean, Leonard. 60 seconds to pile in, and then we'll get the show going. I got to stop at 1 p.m.
Gone in 60 seconds.
X gonna give it to him. Xavier Campon is here. And he's the X, I think. He's coming to give it to you, Lewis. Watch out. I hope you got some good HomeKit-enabled smart locks on your door.
Wow.
Gaylord Fogger's there. He says, good morning. He's ready to milk a cat. Hey, you know what? Just real quick, Lewis. You were poking fun at me because you're like, I believe that there are a numerous assortment of HomeKit-enabled heaters on Apple's webpage. Remember? Remember you said that, and you were kind of poking
That's
fun.
what I saw them.
Yeah. Well, you know what?
Only available in Europe.
Vaporware or Europe.
What?
None of them actually exist. I try to find them in America. Nothing. They're either European.
They might be European. They're ahead of us.
Or they're, well, especially in that regard. Especially with HomeKit stuff. That's actually very true. There's a lot of HomeKit accessories that they have in Europe related to like HVAC system stuff and we just don't have it here. It's very weird.
HomeKit espresso machine.
God,
Very big in Italy.
Yeah, do they actually have one of those? They might.
I don't think
the Italians. Leave it to the Italians. I just want a HomeKit-enabled heater. That's all I want. But can't get it. Todd Ellis is here. He's saying, yo. All right, look. We're just going to get going because I got to be done in 16 minutes. So let's cue up Mrs. You-Know-Who. You guys ready? You know it's time to go because my Apple Watch just starts talking to me every 5 minutes, which never happens throughout the day. It only happens when I'm recording. So let's cue up Mrs. D. Mrs. D! Wait, that's not it. Is that cute little Leander Caney here? Oh, he's here. He's ready to go, Mrs. D. Oh, I can't wait to get my mitts on him. Well, you have to do that later because we have some Apple news to talk about this week. And so if you don't mind, let's get this show rolling. Ready when you are, sir. All right, here we go. Hello, and welcome to CultCast, the best 30-plus minute Apple conversation you're going to hear. Oh, wait. This Mrs. D thing is getting so bad. I'm your host, Airport Elijah. Joining me today, he was San Francisco's favorite mall Santa until security discovered he wasn't on payroll and then found the real mall Santa tied up in a custodian closet. Now he's doing parties, and his rates are fair, if I do say so myself. He's the founder of CultMac. Leander Katie's here. Also with us. People say he's too firm with the CultMac riders, but this year he's given them 2 extra coals for the stove, which will keep the riding room a balmy 45 degrees. It's going to be a lot better than last year. Remember when all those people got frostbite in their fingers? We lost a few fingers. Really affected productivity. He's the managing editor of CultMac. Lewis Wallace is here.
Yeah, hey.
The question is, what did you do with those extra fingers, Lewis?
Snacks in the Cult of Mac kitchen.
I thought maybe
holiday snacks.
Maybe you made like a necklace of them, like it's like Rambo or something. Who was the guy who had like the necklace full of ears? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Wow, Leander he's gone completely fuzzy.
Oh,
did you see that? Wow.
Was he?
Yeah,
Was
your picture just went totally
Oh,
blurred.
you like a
We got like a
total,
preview
total
of
haze, dude.
what Leander sees. Yeah, right. When he takes a big old rip from the Turbo Puff 4000. Oh man. Well, look, we gotta get into the show here because I gotta be done in 40 minutes, which I
Jeez.
honestly don't know how we're gonna get through the show here in that amount of time, but we're gonna try to. And we actually have some stuff to talk about this week. I
He
mean,
said shocked.
is it good stuff? Well, you could be the judge. But we're going to talk about Apple's incoming AR headset. It looks like it's on the way, imminent. And we also have some iPhone SE news. Does anyone care? We'll find out. I'll keep track of the concurrent viewers as we talk about this story. We might have to move on swiftly. And we have a segment, a yearly reoccurring segment, our Gear of the Year, where we talk about stuff that we've been loving over the last year. I got a whole bunch of stuff. Of course, Lewis has got nothing. You had all this time to prep, and you just got nothing, huh? You're gonna
Full 4 minutes. Yeah. Woo. I mean, who could have guessed that it was December?
I just didn't even realize that when I was putting together the show notes, and then I was like, oh, it's December. Time to start Gear of the Year. And so I gave Lewis a full 5 minutes warning, and now he's complaining that he didn't have enough time.
It's somewhat telling.
All right, well, let's see here.
Didn't
Before we dive
realize
in,
it was December. Oh,
I had no
boy.
idea. The year is almost over. I really can't believe it. All right, let's before we dive in, let me give a very hearty thank you to Squarespace for supporting this episode. Everything to sell anything. That's true. If you want to sell literally anything, you can do it on Squarespace. You can have a website up and running in no time. You have all the tools that you need to grow your business online. You just build a website. You can sell real products, physical products, I should say, digital products. They give you all the tools that you need to market your business. All the SEO is built in, and your website will look great on any device that visits. You can track all your inventory. You can loop in services to help you manage your store and do fulfillment. I mean, this is what I use for CultCloth.co. The world's premier high-performance technology cleaning cloth that Apple just tried to copy. And I'll be honest, I hear there's another competitor incoming. I'm not going to talk about it here. I may bring it up in a future show, but saw some whispers online about another cloth coming out potentially, and I was like, you got to be kidding me.
Pixel cloth?
You got to be kidding me.
Pixel cloth?
No, it's not that. It's not that. So we'll see what happens with that. That story's developing. But
the cloth wars. I haven't heard about this.
The cloth wars is real, and everyone's trying to hop on board. First, TC tried to come in and copy me, and now there's someone else who's like, hey, this seems like a pretty good idea to make some money, but is going to have the high-performance cleaning technology of the Cult Cloth or a cool brand name? No, it's not. Back onto Squarespace, because we're talking about Squarespace here. So if you're ready to sell, you want to join the cloth wars? Maybe you're like, wow, I had a great idea. I should sell a high-performance technology cloth to clean your glasses, lenses, MacBook Pros, Apple devices, and I'm going to market it towards the Apple fans out there because I know that they love to keep their gadgets clean. You could start your own website over at CultCloth or over at squarespace.com/CultCast. That's what I did. And that's what I use to sell my products, and it's just worked out great. It's just so easy to use. So if you're ready to get started, squarespace.com/CultCast. Get signed up, build a website, and if you like what you have, at the end of your trial, just use code CultCast at checkout. You'll save 10% off your first purchase, and you get a free domain name plus an additional discount with a year of service up front, which is what I do because it saves you a bunch of money.
A friend of mine just had an art exhibit for his artworks at the weekend, and his daughter threw up a Squarespace website like in a couple of hours, to take orders for the pictures and to see them, online. And I was really impressed. It was really a little QR code, like in the gallery. You took a picture of the QR code, it took you to the website.
Holy moly, really?
Yeah.
Figure out how that works.
Huh?
First, I need to figure out what QR codes are, and then I'm going to have to figure out how those work on Squarespace. I got 2 tasks for me here. All right, let's see here. Let's go ahead and dive into these story topics because I think people are really excited to hear about Apple's first AR headset arriving early next year. And of course, remember, we got the John Prosser exclusive. Remember the Steve Jobs Heritage Edition glasses? Those are incoming, right? I got the story saved. I got a snapshot of it saved so that when it comes to fruition, I can let Gurman know that it is real and he was wrong about that. So take us away here, Lewis. Let's talk about Apple's first AR headset, and mixed reality headset really is, I think, a better way to describe it. IMO.
Yeah, so supposedly it could come as early as late next year. This is coming from renowned TF International Securities analyst Ming-Chi Kuo. This device is expected to pack a surprisingly powerful chip that would put it on par with an M1 Mac in processing performance, and a second low power processor will reportedly handle the handset's many built-in sensors. Did I say handset? I meant to say headset.
I didn't actually hear.
Headset. Yeah, nobody's listening.
As soon as you start talking, my brain immediately
just zone right out. Yeah, so Quos wrote in his latest report, the higher-end processor will have a similar computing power as the M1 for Mac, whereas the lower-end processor will be in charge of sensor-related computing. He says he thinks that the headset will also offer virtual reality experiences through a pair of 4K micro OLED displays manufactured by Sony. And driving those two displays, despite diminutive size, won't be easy because of their high resolutions. That explains the whole thing. AR headset requires at least 6 to 8 optical modules to simultaneously provide continuous video see-through AR services to users, he says. He also said that Apple's planning a comprehensive range of applications. And here's something I don't think we had heard. Supposedly this thing is going to work independently from an iPhone or a Mac. I believe that's the first time I've ever heard that. Everything I've heard is said, oh yeah, these things are going to be, the iPhone's going to drive them.
I don't remember if there were any details on that. I was trying to think back to the information story that, I hate to even say this, Alex. It was Alex E. Heath's scoop. Freaking Alex E. Heath, right? And they have a mock-up of the mixed reality headset here, and this is a mock-up based off of, I think, either things that they saw or descriptions from people who are familiar with the project, and it's pretty interesting. And initially, I thought this was going to be something used for gaming or content viewing, entertainment purposes, and I think that's true, but it's going to be way more than that. I mean, I think that Apple is thinking that this has the potential to even replace your phone, and when I say mixed reality, it's you can dial in and out of AR or VR by churning a knob on it, I think, and seeing, it's like transparency mode, but for your eyes, so like you see what's actually out there, or you can dial it back. Yeah, it's kind of cool, right?
Can you see people walking around in the...
No.
Sorry, Liz.
No,
Could you see people walking around? I mean, no. And I really wonder how much interest there's going to be for this product, but we don't know exactly what it's going to do yet. And of course, there will be a ton of people who are, tripping all over themselves to buy it, no matter what it does. So you can send your digital heartbeat to your friends.
Well,
right?
this is like a. I thought it was, I thought they were going to come out with a pair of AR glasses, whereas this is like a mixed MR headset, right? So it'll do AR and VR.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't think there was any price point mentioned in this thing from Quo this time, but I mean, some people said like thousands of dollars for this.
I believe that Alex E. Heath in the information story, I think he said $3,000, around $3,000, which is crazy.
Really?
But
yeah, I mean, geez, it's gonna have to do a lot more than make me look like a moron for $3,000.
Make you look like
I
a
guess
cyclops.
I should say even more of a moron. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just, every time I see a picture of one of these VR devices, I go, what in the world is anybody thinking? I mean, granted, I'm blind without my glasses, so it's not. Anytime I put one on, I just feel like I'm, out of it, right? But I just don't get it. I can't imagine standing in a room. I guess if you're living by yourself in some your mom's basement or something, maybe all right, maybe. But I don't get
if you're in a prison cell with absolutely no human contact, yeah, maybe I'll put it on.
Yeah, if you're in a COVID camp for 2 weeks during your quarantine, maybe I don't know. I guess airplane might be great actually.
Well, yeah, airplane or sitting and watching a movie or maybe doing some work. But like wearing this thing 24/7, there's absolutely no way.
I know
going out in public, sitting in public.
especially doing stuff outside your house. I mean, everyone's been talking about Facebook, aka Meta. I don't buy it, man. It just seems like people aren't gonna want to live their lives inside of this virtual reality world. It would be one thing if they could attach like electrodes to like all your body parts so that you felt like you were in the world, right? But if it's a visual experience only, I don't know how appealing that's going to be to people. It feels like you would do it for a couple hours, and then you get tired of it, and you want to actually go have like a real experience. Like the fact that Facebook is pivoting towards a metaverse, I just don't think it's going to be successful. I don't think people want to live their lives in a metaverse. It's only like part of the living experience. You only get the visual aspect of it.
You're not going to jack in 24/7, are you? Like some kind of William Gibson weird fantasy. I mean, it's going to be like, you'll have this thing for limited, probably entertainment experiences, or like going to visit a museum or whatever, like
conjugal
video
visits.
Calling. Huh? Conjugal visits.
Jeff Druin said
exactly.
prison conjugal visits.
Certain kinds of videos. But maybe for work and stuff like that, video conferencing. But and as the experiences, it'll if it's successful, then it'll take over more and more things, won't it? I think it's definitely going to be successful for some stuff. I mean, there's been some really compelling demos or people saying that it's absolutely great for certain tasks, certain things. Like these virtual meetings, I think people have been saying they quite like those. It's better than Zoom. We have a little avatar.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm very skeptical too. I'm kind of disappointed. I want to see something like a pair of like those Steve Jobs Heritage Edition things. Where they look like regular glasses and they're overlaying some stuff into the. I'm more excited about an AR headset than I am of an MR or VR headset.
Yeah, I would like them to be smaller and more practical. I totally get what you're saying. I do like the AR aspect of it. I think that overlaying information in the real world would be really useful and practical, but not if it's in the shape of this giant set of goggles that you got to wear on your face. Although,
yeah, right.
I mean, think how cool it would be if you had these goggles on your face. Like, people say this might replace the iPhone. I don't know about that, but I could see it perhaps replacing the Mac. If it had the same computing power and all you had to do is have a keyboard and a mouse, and then your screens were AR and they were laid out all in front of you in some kind of like mixed reality scenario. Even if you had to, even if the goggles could do that and you still had to have a Mac, I think that's a pretty cool practical use for them. And it's something that I would be interested in if you could have like several like Pro XDR displays like laid out all over yourself, and you could have like content that you're watching up here, and then like your coding windows right here, and then like your Twitter stream is over there, and it's just total trash, but you can see it out of the peripheral of your eye, making sure you're following news. So I think that actually might be pretty useful.
We posted a video. I think someone made a mock-up of exactly that kind of scenario, and we reported on it. When was it? Do you remember this, Louis? It was like 6 months ago.
Was that you? Yeah, I guess it was. Yeah, I can't remember the headline or anything, so I'll never be able to find it on the site. But
it was actually pretty good. It was pretty compelling. It did seem. It was like, oh yeah, this actually looks, quite compelling, quite realistic. I could actually see myself doing this. And like I said, it replacing the Mac. I don't think they're going to replace the phone. I think the phone is going to be one of those enduring form factors that's going to stay around for decades.
Yeah, I agree. Louis, were you going to say something?
No, I was, I mean, the whole thing with everybody
uh,
working from home, maybe if you could do computing on these things and it became like, oh, I'm working on, with my glasses and I could do it from anywhere. I mean, then maybe it makes a little more sense. I just can't imagine people wearing those around other human beings. I mean, that's what it just seems so bizarre to me to think about being in a room with even one other person and we both got those goggles on. It's some kind of dystopian nightmare.
Yeah, and then the only person who doesn't have the goggles on is Mark Zuckerberg, and he's got this creepy grin on his face, walking around this room full of human batteries. Because what you don't know is like the two electrodes are attached to your brain and suck your electricity out, just like the Matrix.
Well, that famous picture of him, isn't there?
Yeah, it's exactly what I was thinking of. Yeah. Let me see if I can find that picture so people know what we're talking about. It's Zuckerberg in a room full of people with VR headsets on, right? And he's got like this really creepy smirk on his face, like, oh yeah, here it is. Sorry for all of you listening to
When
this.
does he not have a creepy smirk on his face?
Look at this smirk,
And he had a
dude.
creepy.
Look at this smirk. He's like, oh, all this brain activity is powering my Facebook servers. Look at all these people in the headsets, and he's just like grinning.
What the?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, doesn't that
there's your
just
future.
looks? Yeah. God.
It looks like something. It looks like Apple's 1984 ad.
I was
doesn't
just gonna say, yeah, it does. Except they're immobile. They're not even moving.
Right.
Ugh.
He needs to get their activity level up so that their brains generate the voltage that the Facebook servers need. Streamline is saying, why would you want a 6-inch screen when you can have it unlimited? I'm not sure if you mean like why would you want the mixed reality headset or not. But when you have a 6-inch screen in front of your face, it feels unlimited, right? Because you can place things all throughout space, and so I think having a 6-inch screen in front of your face is gonna be way more practical because of the augmented screens that you could have, like the limitless augmented screens. You could probably have like 100 screens, right? Versus like the 1 or 2 that most people have in front of them most times. It's an interesting idea, I have to say. I mean, $3,000 is crazy. I mean, for the normal person, I just think that is ridiculous and totally out of their budget. But we have to wait and see what happens. And so like the point of the story, right, is that it could be coming by the end of next year, end of 2022, which is pretty soon, right around the corner.
Yeah, and I read something else about this later. I can't remember where it was, but they were saying basically like this is probably the kind of thing where Apple would show it off, and then it would be months and months before it actually came to market, because they got it. Like maybe they show it off at WWDC so people can start to think about how to build apps for it, and then it comes out like the following year or something. A delay like with Apple Watch, for instance, but probably not as much as with AirPower.
Let's hope it's more useful than the Apple Watch, the V0 Apple Watch. What a horrendous turd that was.
Oh, come on now.
It had so much promise, and it just never met up to that promise. It's great now. The Apple Watch is great now, but God, that first one was terrible. I kept waiting for it to get better. I was like, it's going to get better at some point. Surely it's going to get better. No.
It got better by version 3.
Well, I meant that the version I had paid for was
that one. Oh,
not
sorry.
that eventually it would get better. Like, yes, I concede that it got much better by version 3, but I wanted the one that I paid $500 for to get better. You
could make it better instantly by getting a different band.
Well, I don't know where
replace that sport band.
I don't know where I could go to even get a different band, Lewis. Is there a place that even sells different bands?
Oh man, that's a good question.
Okay, well, hold that thought, because before you get all excited and get into a Cultamax store promotion, let me just give a quick mention for this story. Now, look, it's December. There's not a lot of Apple news out here, so cut me a break, okay? But I at least want to mention to you guys iPhone SE with 5G, which is the slower version of 4G.
Right.
It's right around the corner. Seriously, 5G, it feels like a gimmick at this point. I don't feel like it actually materialized into faster bandwidth in any way, shape, or form, at least in Seattle. And I know it's not faster in San Francisco because Lewis was literally joking that it is slower than 4G. And so it was the huge feature of iPhone 12, iPhone 13, and it's like, it's not actually faster. I know there are places where it is faster if you're in some big city where they have all of the towers, the little mini towers everywhere, but it's certainly not in Seattle, not anywhere that I've visited. I have yet to see 5G speeds that are actually any different than 4G.
Yeah,
but
I got to make a trek down to one of those. There's some places in San Francisco now where they have Verizon has, what do they call it, 5G ultra wideband.
Yeah.
I got to try that out because I got to say, I mean, what I'm on is never that. It's always the, low level 5G that is slower than 4G in my neighborhood.
Same here. All right. Well, if you're interested in iPhone SE, and I know some of you are, there was a report that was released this week from TrendForce. It says Apple is staying with the plan to release its third generation iPhone SE in the first quarter of 2022. So in the next, I guess, 4 months, right? And we'll have 4 models under a new series in the second half of 2022. So those are like the regular iPhones. This isn't the first unconfirmed report that the next lower cost iOS model is coming in 2022, but the TrendForce story helps confirm that it'll be out before the end of March. So there you go. If you're interested in iPhone SE, it looks like it will have the 5G band coming to it, which, as I mentioned, doesn't really do anything for you. But I know some of you like the lower cost iPhone SE because it's only $400 and it has like the smaller screen. So that's cool. I would kind of expect they're going to have a redesign of some sort, but we'll have to wait and see about that. So iPhone SE on the way. Lewis,
when he says different models, are they talking about different colors?
No, I think he's saying that, or the report is saying that iPhone SE is on the way, and then later in the year, we're going to have the other models of the iPhones, the iPhone 14, coming in the second half of 2022.
Oh, I see. Gotcha.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of confusing the way he says that. So, in other words, things that we already know. Although we didn't know about the iPhone SE stuff. So that is actually new information.
Wow. Apple's going to release iPhones next year?
Yeah.
New ones?
Probably 5.
Wow.
Yeah. It's going to be iPhone 14. There's definitely going to be an iPhone 14, and it's going to have it's going to be faster. The camera's going to be better. CultCast exclusive.
In other words, a must buy.
It's going to be a must buy. It's going to have other features that aren't in the current iPhone 13 that you're really going to want. And it's probably the same price. So probably the same form factor too. So there you go.
Wow.
Yeah. Let's give a quick plug to do we want to talk about the Apple Do It All charger for multiple devices, Leander?
I'll steam right through it. Ready
let's do it. I'm ready. I am ready, actually. Let's see how fast you can do this.
Okay, hold on to it. Well, Apple hasn't given up on a do-it-all charger for all the different Apple devices. They continue to work on a wireless charger similar to the abandoned AirPower Mat that will allow users to charge multiple devices simultaneously, according to a new report. The company also hopes to develop truly wireless charging in the future. And that was the part that caught my attention of this story. So Cupertino is reportedly working on a short and long distance charging solutions that don't require physical contact. It also wants to give all major Apple devices the ability to charge each other. So that apparently haven't they built that into the hardware already of the iPhone 13, but they haven't enabled it in software?
The reverse charging.
Yeah,
yes.
I think didn't
yes.
the teardown sort of confirm that would
Well, it was the so it was actually Apple's magnetic they're really awful wireless charging pack that is super overpriced and charges your phone really slow, and you can plug that in to Lightning or plug your phone in and it will charge the battery pack wirelessly. So your phone does already do it. If you have, I think the iPhone 12 and the iPhone 13 both do that.
If you plug in you charge the phone and then it charges the battery pack,
and then the battery pack is attached, it will charge the battery pack wirelessly. Yes,
I see. Gotcha.
So
cool.
that's like how that functionality was confirmed, if I recall correctly.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah. Is there any other part of this story, except that
the wireless stuff is really interesting because there was a company, Archos, the French electronics giant.
Yeah.
They've teamed up with this startup called something whose name I forget, but they're coming out with 4 gadgets that I think are going to be shown off at CES in January, including a smartwatch that you can wear indefinitely. It'll charge over the air. You put this thing in your ceiling or behind the furniture, and it creates, it'll charge it through the ether.
It comes with a Tesla coil. Every time the bolt hits you, it just adds a little bit of power into it.
Right.
It also makes you infertile, but
Sheesh.
Well, they have a security camera too, which never needs to be charged. And what was it? And a couple of other things. I can't remember what the other gadgets were, but these are purely wireless. They don't need any contact with anything. They don't need to be plugged into anything. They charge from this unit. And I know that Apple has been looking at this because they've got some patents. In fact, there were some patents with the iMac. The iMac was going to be the charging station or the charging module that would charge other things like keyboards and mice. It would send
that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it be? It would be totally cool. But if you were worried about microwaves,
jeez.
This stuff.
That's why I'm wearing aluminum foil underpants now. I'm starting my own line. It's actually gonna be some merch that we sell along with the Leander Caney pull string doll. We're gonna make so much money.
Gonna be rich.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. All right. So there's your Apple is still secretly working on a multi-device charger story. We'll see if this actually ever comes to fruition. Yeah.
Is it kind of weird how they never came out with the AirPower? Because I mean, some other companies do have them. I've got one at home, a Zen's power mat.
Yeah.
That has like 16 coils, and you can plunk something on top of that, more or less. Every now and again, you got to hunt around a little bit to get the right space, but it's not bad. I mean, it works pretty well. It doesn't get too overheated. I haven't had the house burned down yet. I wonder why Apple couldn't come up with it. It's so weird.
Yeah, I don't know. Hopefully, we come out with, or we get a movie with starring Ashton Kutcher that goes to the saga of the Air Power mats and why it never came to fruition, or maybe eventually we'll actually see this thing appear. But I would be all aboard for actual wireless charging. Wireless stuff is pretty interesting. I mean, this is one of the things I love about HomePods is that you get these wireless surround sound speakers for your television, which from what I know of speaker technology, that's pretty unique. I mean, most speakers have wires, and you got to run wires from your stereo setup from your receiver, to the back speakers and your front speakers. And then here come AirPods, and they do everything wirelessly, and you get really high fidelity audio. That was actually really kind of new as far as I was aware. And now you have this really interesting Sony system that is the first of its kind, as far as I know, that has surround sound for your television, and it's getting a lot of accolades for sounding really good. It has a wireless subwoofer that you can get, and then it has 4 speakers that you place around your TV, and there's just no wires. You just plug them in. Like that's pretty cool to not have all the wires running everywhere, and you get like this really beautiful surround sound. What were you going to say, Leander? Sorry.
I'm not sure how new the tech is, for that kind of virtual speaker system. Because I remember I had a Yamaha soundbar. This is, gone back a good 10 years now. I'm sure, maybe even longer. That would throw sound out to the side. So it was replicating, I think, a 5.1 surround system.
But it was just one thing that was attached to your TV with wires, right? So it wasn't wireless. It was virtualizing surround sound, right?
Yeah, you had to put it connected with an optical cable.
Right. So like the Sony stuff, they are 4 individual speakers, and then there's an optional subwoofer, and all of them just plug in to the wall, and that's it. And there's no wires that plug into your. Actually, maybe one of them. Something has to be plugged in, I think, to your
TV
your system,
or your
right?
set-top box,
but only one thing, and then all the rest of it happens wirelessly, which is, again, I mean, I think that's kind of new technology because it requires a lot of bandwidth. They probably needed like Wi-Fi 6 or Wi-Fi 6E to pull it off because so much.
Sonos has been doing this for a while,
Yeah, they do it with music though, and with audio, you have multiple channels of signal for the different channels. I wonder if it just takes up way more bandwidth. Anyway, we're not going to solve the mysteries of wireless surround sound systems here on this show, but it is really interesting. I kind of want to test it out, honestly, and it might be the one thing that pulls me away from the HomePods. If you could have wireless surround sound, really high quality with a subwoofer, that might be something that might actually replace the HomePods. The only thing is, I think the system is like $1,800 for the 4 speakers, and then if you want the sub, which everyone says that you need, it's another $600. So now you're talking like $2,600. The other thing I wanted to point out just real fast, sorry, this is tangential, but someone was saying they have an iPhone 11, which is what I came from. I came from an iPhone 11 Pro. The thing that really blows my mind is, and again, I shouldn't be surprised, is the HDR Dolby Vision video. So I bought a Dolby Vision capable HDR TV in like the last 2 months, and wow. The video quality, once you have the TV and the camera system to match, it is a huge leap forward in video fidelity. It looks so much better. HDR quality just looks so much better than standard definition or standard color technology. And even on the phone itself, because the phone has an HDR display, like the video quality is just next level from the iPhone 11 or 11 Pro. It just makes it feel yucky and gross and old, and the new stuff it just brings the content to life in a whole new way. So even upgrading to the 12, I think you get a huge leap forward in video quality. That was like one of the big features, right? Was Dolby Vision. And anyway, that's neither here nor there. Let's see here. Virtual surround is not new. Wireless surround speakers are relatively new. Konoth! Thank you for that. Yes. Okay.
I gotta say, I was watching something the other day on Apple TV with the two HomePods.
Yeah.
And something, I don't know what it was. There was some noise on the soundtrack, and I like kind of jumped off the couch. I was like, "What? Somebody's something outside my house." It sounded like it was right outside the window. I was like, "Wow, that was pretty
spatial,
pretty surprisingly." Yeah, so it really.
And then you turned around and it was some guy outside your window trying to break in.
Yeah, it was San Francisco. Yeah, no, it was. I don't remember what it was. It was just like some kind of like it was really minor too. That was what was weird. It wasn't like a monster attacking from far off. It was like leaves rustling or something.
Yeah.
But it sounded so real. It just kind of sent a shiver up my spine.
I know exactly what you mean. I was watching, oh God, I forget the name of the content, but it was on Apple TV Plus. And this is one of the things I love about Apple TV Plus is they just give you everything. It's like everything's 4K, everything's Dolby Vision, everything's Dolby Atmos. It's like they just give you all the best new technologies. And if you have HomePods, your HomePods support Dolby Atmos and the virtualized surround sound and stuff. And I had the exact same experience. I was watching something. It was that documentary about asteroids hitting the Earth or something. Do you know what I'm talking about?
It's called Fireball.
Yes, that might be it. And there was a scene where these people they're having like a Day of the Dead celebration. They were dancing and stuff, and it was unreal. There were people dancing, and I could hear people talking and dancing and like using instruments, and it was all coming from behind me. And actually, I remember when I first experienced it, I actually thought that there was something going on outside behind me.
Yeah.
And I turned around and there was nothing there, and then I turned it down on my TV, and I was like, oh, it's actually coming from the HomePods. It was pretty cool to have two HomePods in front of you and have it shooting like sound behind you. It's kind of a strange experience.
It's surprisingly convincing. Yeah. I haven't watched that documentary because I'm terrified of hearing Werner Herzog speaking, whispering in my ear.
This is where the asteroids hit. The tone of his voice never changes. It stays the exact same pitch the entire movie. It does not go up, does not go down, doesn't change in volume. It's actually very impressive. Okay, look. We're going to have to skip everything else because we got to wrap up here.
Wow.
But do the giveaway real fast, Lewis, and then let's jump into Gear of the Year. Because we got no more time
give away this week's. Actually, it's the same one as last week. Choi Tech, MagSafe charging stands. We're giving away 3 of them. They charge your MagSafe phone and your AirPods at the same time. Also, if you just want to buy one, we got a 40% discount code. It's good for another couple of days. So go to the homepage, go down where it says giveaway, click on that, sign up for the giveaway, buy some if you want with the code, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, I haven't tried this one, but the other Choi Tech stuff I've had has been great. So I suspect this is a fine charger too, and that's all I got to say.
Got a nice aesthetic. I'll include
get your name
a link
in the hat.
Give it a shot. You got a chance. That's all I'm saying. You got a chance. I'll put the link in the chat and also in the show notes. So if you all want to go in there and enter to win, you can. Let's move on to the last segment of the show. I love this segment.
Cyber whistle. No cyber whistle.
I know. We don't have time, Lewis. We don't have time. We got 9 minutes left.
All right, no cyber whistle next time.
I know. Elon Musk released a cyber whistle. We're going to talk about it because it was a fun story, but we got no time. So we're going to move on to Gear of the Year. This is the segment where we talk about stuff that we've used throughout the year that we've really loved. And I might be repeating myself on some of this gear. We'll be doing this segment for the rest of the month. So odds are I'm going to repeat myself on some stuff because there's some stuff that I'm like, I think I've talked about it on the show, and other parts that I'm not actually sure about. So I want to make sure I get to everything. So does anyone want to kick us off for Gear of the Year? No?
Leander looks like he just can't wait to.
Okay.
Leander does look very excited. Take it away, LK.
I'll go first if you like. Sure. Okay. Yeah. I nominate, and I think I have them right here. Oh, no, I don't. The AirPods 3.
Oh.
which I really love. You know, then now that my go-tos. You know, I've got AirPods Max, I've got AirPods Pro, but the ones I normally reach for are the humble AirPods 3. You know, size, convenience, the sound, but mostly, you know, because I don't want it to be blocked off. You know, I don't want the active noise canceling all the time. And you know, I like the fact that it leaks sound. You can still hear the environment around you without degrading the actual quality of the audio. Yeah, so that's my choice.
Man, I have to agree with you. I love my AirPods 3. They're just perfect. There's not a single thing about them that I don't like. And the spatial audio feature is so strangely good. I mentioned this before because you still have situational awareness. So for me, because they actually fit in my ears, when I turn my head, it doesn't feel like I have anything in, but then the audio stays fixed in the direction of the device that I'm listening to. And so sometimes I think that I'm not wearing anything because it mimics spatial audio in such a realistic way that it makes me think that I actually don't have anything in. They really are. They're fantastic. I really love them. And I saw them on sale over Black Friday for, I think they dropped down like $145. Might have been the cheapest that I saw them. And they just came out, so that was a crazy price.
I came this close. I actually had them in the Amazon cart, but I just couldn't justify paying $150 to have, you know, a fifth pair of earbuds.
They are nice, Lewis, though. They're definitely better than the twos, if only because they just look so much less nerdy. The freaking twos with those long, dorky stems. I just can't do it anymore, you know. And these are what we were waiting for. So you just look so much cooler.
The stuff that you don't really, that you don't really have to think about. Like they are the rock solid Bluetooth connection. Like it never ever drops a connection. And you know, I think about the old days when Bluetooth was kind of finicky and it was difficult to pair stuff. You know, the pairing, the automatic switching. All of this pain has been taken out of that stuff. You know, the wireless charging, such a great product. It's really, really is fantastic product.
And the other thing too is like, and I think the twos probably did this, but I don't know if they did this as well, is the automatic connecting. So I'll connect them on my iPhone. I'll put my iPhone down and I'm going to bed, right? And then I pick up my iPad and I open up my iPad. They're already connected. It's like, whoa. Yeah, it just kind of follows you from device to device. It's really cool.
It's true even when you get a new iPhone or something like that too. I mean, it's already prepared if you suck the settings across.
Yeah, they really
because it's in your iCloud account, so it's already connected to your Mac, to any device registered to iCloud.
Yeah, so I'm piggybacking on your pick. This has become our pick. this is our pick. All right, I'm gonna pitch something that is gonna be not useful to everyone, but if you have need for it, you're going to love it. And it is a product by this company called Burley, who makes bike wagons, and they're also like strollers in some cases. And I've been reviewing this thing called the Delight X. It's from Burley, as I mentioned. They make a really high quality bike carriages. And this thing, for lack of a better way to describe it, it's like the Cadillac of bike strollers for kids and cargo. It's just got so many features built in. It's easy to use. You can use it as a stroller, and if you want to run, like the front wheel, I believe, locks so it stays straight. So you could push your kids around in this thing, or you can connect it to your bike and pull your kids on your bike, which is what I've been doing, and they love it, man. It's like I'm just pulling my kids, and they're just laughing, having a great time. It's got some shock absorbers in the wheels and the axles, so like as they're like going down the road, like the bumps are smoothed out. It's got like UV tinted windows, so the kids don't get too much sun. It's got built-in retractable shades, so if you want to close them if your kids fall asleep, you can do that. Just a really well-built product. It's sturdy as heck. It's got so many great features built into it. It's easy to use. It's easy to connect to your bike. I mean, you can connect this thing to your bike in probably 10 seconds and then disconnect it and leave it at home. It also folds down so that you can store it. It's just a really wonderfully engineered piece of equipment. And if you've got young kids and they're not old enough to go on bike rides, or maybe they are old enough to go on bike rides, but they're not old enough to ride for a long period of time, this is definitely something that you should check out. It's not cheap. So the one that I was testing out, I think it's $900 or it might be $1,000. I'm not really sure. Might be 1,000. But you get what you pay for, man. Oh, they got a single version for 800 and a double version for 1,000. And I use this thing all the time, and I just love using it. My kids love using it. So if you're interested in carting your kids along for your bike rides, which is a really cool like father-kid experience, if you've never done it before, like it's just really special when you're riding down the road and you can just hear them laughing and the wind's blowing through their hair, and they just love it. They just love it. I would have loved having something like this when I was a kid. So this is the Burley Delight X bike stroller, and you can buy them on Amazon. They sell them all over the place.
How do you connect it to the bike?
It has a little adapter that you screw into your back wheel. In the frame, and then whenever you want to connect it, you basically just push it into the connector and then put a pin through it, and that's it. It literally takes 10 seconds. So it's really easy to connect and disconnect. Otherwise, you would never actually use it, you know? It also has a lot of storage in it, so like if you're going on a longer ride and you want to eat lunch somewhere, you can store all the stuff in the back. So there you go. Let's see here. Who's next? Lewis?
I guess it's gonna have to be me. This is this came out last year, the end of last year, but M1 MacBook Air. Been using this thing for months now. So fast, so handy, completely blows away the old MacBook Pro that I had. I think it's only puked like one time. I was trying to resize a gigantic press photo, and I opened it up in preview, and it just like couldn't handle that. But it's done that other times, so I don't have any idea like what was going on with that one particular time. It handles anything I throw at it. It's never hot. It's perfect. The battery is awesome.
How long does the battery last for?
I love it. Well, to be honest, I use it mostly on the desk, but and plugged in. But when I take it out, I don't know. I've never run it down. I took it, on a trip. I was using it in a hotel room for hours and hours, and I didn't even bother to plug it in because I was just like, it doesn't really need to be. I eventually did, over a weekend of working. But yeah, it's pretty astonishing. I can't wait to take it on an airplane and see how long it lasts on an air, because that's the ultimate test. I mean, the other thing, I couldn't even watch a full movie on the MacBook Pro. The battery would be dead before his movie was done, which is ridiculous.
I gotta say, it's really enticing. I mean, I've even thought about getting one and just doing all the editing and stuff on it, because these things are so powerful now. You can edit 4K video. I think you could even edit 8K video on these. And for what I do, I'm like, do I really need to have a MacBook Pro with all the bells and whistles, or could I get away with $1,000 MacBook Air? And I think I probably could get away with it. I mean, it saves you time if you have a MacBook Air or a MacBook Pro, because it just does things a little bit faster. But the MacBook Airs, they have turned from like this web browsing machine into like an actual productivity machine. You can actually use them to do all kinds of real work. You could definitely edit a podcast on this thing, no problem. And now that you can edit 4K video, I mean, you could use this thing to actually run a YouTube channel if you wanted to, and it would not be a slouch. It would actually perform pretty well. If you're just doing 4K content, this honestly might be all that you need. And then get yourself like a.
You should get the Mini instead of the Air, right? It'll save you a little bit of money. Same.
I mean, you
more or
can
less
do
the
that.
same computer.
I really hope that. So one of the things I've been trying to do, this total tangent, but one of the things I've been trying to do is move my editing off my machine into a NAS, so like all my content. And it's a little tricky to do because you either need a Thunderbolt 3 setup or you need a 10G NAS, which I don't have. And then, of course, you need a machine with 10G in it. And that's the one drawback for me. I'm like, you can't do 10G Ethernet in the MacBook Air. And I guess you can't do it in the MacBook Pro either without an adapter. So that's kind of a bummer. But on the Mac Mini, you can get a 10G Ethernet port, I think. And then you can also get it on the iMac, at least the older version. And I bet the new iMac Pro that's going to be coming up will also have 10G Ethernet as an option. And then you could like edit everything, keep all your content on your NAS and just edit it in real time on your NAS like they do at Lucasfilm, make you feel really cool. and then you have unlimited storage, right? So you don't necessarily need to buy like the 2 terabyte or 4 terabyte storage options for your MacBook Pro because everything is just living on your NAS, and then it's also always backed up. So there's just a lot of advantages to it. So that's kind of like where my head is at this point. So I think for me, I'm probably going to skip. I'm not going to do MacBook Air. I'm even considering maybe not even doing the MacBook Pro at this point, and maybe waiting to see what they do with the iMac. But I'm not sure. Alas, we're out of time. I could talk about gadgets all day.
Anyway, one quick thing. Look what just showed up.
Oh, nice.
Oh, you got that? Oh man. Did they reach out to you?
Yeah.
So Leander's showing a remind me the name of the company, Leander.
Grid Studio.
Grid Studios. So LK has got this really beautiful iPhone breakdown. They sent you the original iPhone. Now that's cool. So Grid Studios reached out to me as well, Leander. They're sending me the iPhone 10.
Wow.
And they make an interesting product. They take real technology, they break it down into components, and then they mount it to a board with descriptions of all the different parts, and they put it in this really beautiful frame. And they do this for Game Boy, they do this for iPhones, they do this for some other Nintendo products. And when they reached out to me, they're like, which one do you want? I was like, oh, dude, it's such a hard decision. They've got some they got the original Game Boy, which I would have loved to have. He's like, well, how about the iPhone 10? I'm like, yeah, that's cool. I feel like the iPhone 10 is like a really iconic product. So that's really beautiful, Leander. So that's the original iPhone. Or that's the 3GS, isn't it? Which one is that?
No, this is the first iPhone.
Okay.
They actually didn't. He said he didn't have it in stock, and I said, well, anyway, I can't remember what he said. He said, but initially he said he couldn't do it. Then he said he could, and I can't remember why. But I thought the original iPhone would be a really cool one to have. It's superb. It's a really nice job they've done here.
Yeah, that looks
parts
really
labeled.
Can you actually hold it up again so people can see it? So it looks kind of angle it downward or upward a bit so the reflection doesn't hit it upward. Maybe there you go. So it looks like it's just a picture of the parts, but the parts are actually mounted to that board in there, and then it has all the descriptions and diagrams and everything. Yeah, and I was talking to the guy on Twitter. And he's like, yeah, it takes us, tons of time. We have to break this whole thing down. We have to clean all the parts, mount them to the board. Like, it's a lot of work to put these things together. And it looks beautiful. So
learn something looking at that.
Yeah, Grid Studios. I think it's gridstudios.com maybe. I'll give them a shout. Yeah, gridstudio.com. Oh, wait, no, that's not it. Grid Studio. Let me search for it. Grid Studio. Studio. I just want to make sure I give their webpage a shout here. gridstudio.cc. Gridstudio.cc. And is this the one they're sending me? No, this is the iPhone 4S. So they've got game consoles here. Oh, man, I would have loved to have had the freaking Game Boy. Check out the Game Boy. Dude, that looks so cool. Yeah. They're not cheap, They're, between $200 and $300. But it's a
nice present,
dude.
I think. It's a really good gift. It's very unique.
It's very unique. I was just going to say that same thing. You literally just stole the words out of my mouth. I'll never forgive you for that. Let's see here. And let's see, the portable media player. Oh, there we go. iPhone. They've got Samsung. I don't know why you'd want to buy one of those, but they've got them. So I'm getting this one right here. Where is it? There's the one I'm getting. The iPhone 10. Looks pretty cool, right?
Yeah,
it's
it
beautiful.
is pretty cool. Yeah, it's great.
So
it's almost as good as this. It's gone. I can't find it. But yeah.
All right. Okay, that's fine.
Santa Caney.
Santa Caney's here. Come sit on his lap. All right. Don't do that, by the way. We're gonna go ahead and turn on the music. It's all the CultCasts we have for you guys this week. People are oohing and on over Grid Studio. Yeah, it's really cool stuff. Gridstudio.cc. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up there. That's all the CultCast we have for you guys this week. If you want to come tell us about your favorite products, I'd love to hear about them. I'm trying to get some new reviews in, so ping me on Twitter. I'm at Erfon, ERFON. Lewis is at Lewis Wallace. Lander is at L. Caney. This has been the CultCast, the best 30-plus minute Apple conversation you're going to hear all week long. New episodes of the CultCast come out every Thursday night. I want to thank everyone for listening, and we will smell you guys later. Yeah. That one's going out to you, Adam. I don't want to hear nothing about it. Nice and quick show. Yeah, only an hour this week.
Record time.
It's a quick show. We got through it in an hour. Hour plus, 30-minute podcast. We'll be back next week. I think. TC allows it. One of these days, he's going to wake up and take us out of the iTunes store. All right, guys. I'm hovering my cursor towards the end stream button as we speak. I'm surprised that any of you are still here for this part of the show where we just basically talk about nothing. Greg Asset says it's the best 30 minutes of his life. I can see that. Too short today? Well, gotta keep it coming back. All right, guys. We're gonna go ahead and end the show because I clearly can't talk anymore. Bye.
Your hard stop at 1 didn't hardly stop. That was abrupt.